In total, the number of countries that have won a medal has really augmented, and this pleases us very well because this is really a proof of universality of the Games. In Athens, we had 74 countries with medals, here 86. More than 40 world records were set. Most of the athletes, the overwhelming majority is clean. There is a small minority that cheats, and unfortunately, they taint the whole sport. Last point is that we are freezing the samples for 8 years. And if in the future we discover a test of something that we eventually could not detect today, we will be able to detect it in the future. And that also is a major deterrent. We acknowledge that the situation has not been perfect, but we acknowledge at the same time that the situation was a major change in comparison to before the Games. So we believe that the Games had a good influence in that. You should not forget one thing, is that it is not the IOC running Internet, it is the Chinese government running Internet. As far as the protest zones are concerned, this has never been a promise of the Chinese authorities. It's the IOC who attracted the attention of the organizers, BOCOC, to the best practices of the previous Games. This was not a part of the host city contract. Chinese authorities agreed to establish this protest zone in the same way it has been done in Sydney in 2000, Salt Lake City 2002, and even in Athens in 2004. There is a fact that there were 77 applications, that's what we have been told. And we found it unusual that none of these applications have come through real protest. We want the most total number of medals. So I believe the reply we received from the Chinese authorities is that this was an application of Chinese law. The International Olympic Committee is not a sovereign organization. We have to respect Chinese law.
And when did the IOC approve?
The tangible legacy is always the most easy to define. This is the sport venues that were built and that were very intelligently embedded in universities for the most. That means that no white elephant has been built and that the after-games use of these venues will be optimal. This is something that will be used on a day-to-day basis, not one international match every 3 months. But these venues will be used by the students of the universities or by the owners of the different venues. It may be workers' unions. And this is, I believe, a great legacy. You have, of course, the urban legacy of the city with the new airport terminal, with the new ring road, with the improvement on the metro. So I think this is really something that is very, very easy to define. We have less tangible legacies because they are more evolving, and I think that is the heightened awareness of the Chinese for the environment. The factories that have been closed will not be opened again, and I received these pledges not later than yesterday by government officials. The polluted cars will not be allowed to enter again in the city. The efforts on water remediation and water cleaning will be stepped up. More trees will be planted. So all of this, I believe, is a legacy of the Olympic Games. It will be a long road before, the environment will be perfect, but I think that is a legacy. The regulations might not be perfect, and we acknowledge that they are not perfect, but they are a sea change compared to the situation before. And we hope, and we have expressed this hope, that they would continue after the original deadline, which is, I believe, the 30th of October. And there are indications that this might be considered, and this is an important aspect. All of them amounted to 39 athletes that were caught just in a month before. If I had a story to tell, definitely it would be the embrace and the hug of the Georgian and the Russian athlete on the podium. 2 days after there had been violent clashes in Georgia. I mean, I think this kind of sportsmanship and fair play and brotherhood is really remarkable. Tell you. You know, this is something that's going to be the Bolt issue. I mean, I take it with a big smile. I gave Usain Bolt what I believe being fatherly advice. I don't want to enter in further polemic. I stand by what I said. I said that he was the icon of the games together with Michael Phelps. They are the two outstanding athletes. I have a great respect for his abilities. I thought that, and I repeat what I said, he should show more respect for his opponents, but I also said in the same way that he was a young man of 22, and that he has time to mature. So that's over with it.
What legacy do you think?
China has put the bar very high. So it's going to be a challenge for London, but also for all the subsequent games. And I believe, and my hope will be that London can even put the bar higher, and so that we have this constant evolution and improvement of the Olympic Games. I gave Usain Bolt what I believe being fatherly advice. Athens was the return to the roots, to the country that has invented the Olympic Games. China was coming to the most populous country in the world. And London will be the city of the country that has invented modern sport, and that has invented the rules of sport, that has brought in the values, the value of fair play and other values. So I think that's the identity that has to be built around London.